Hello friends, it's Melissa from Languid Letters, and I'm hopping on to share with you some really cute mini junk journals I just finished. I've been working on them this weekend. I made them out of some scrapbook paper that was in my stash that I've been wanting to use up. And I decided to create these little, almost like pocket-sized journals. They're really cute. Let me measure them real quick so you can get a sense here. So they're about 4 inches wide and about almost 5.5 inches tall. So they're a really nice compact size. Since they're so small, I didn't want to stuff them too much. So there's 12 pages in here. So 6 sheets of paper that have been folded in half. And I kept things very simple on the inside. So it's a mix of lined papers and blank papers. There's some patterned scrapbook paper in there. Like I said, just kept it really simple. I wanted it to be kind of like a neutral base that people could use to write down information maybe about a trip or a special event, or heck, just whatever's going on in their life that month, whatever floats your boat. I think it's so important to remind folks that journals don't have to all be like this beautiful work of art. They don't have to be this like in-depth exploration of your day. It's just for fun. Do whatever you want with it. Okay. All right. Let me show you the different ones. Each one's a little different. They all have a different topper collage on the front. And then in each one, I made sure that there was a pocket because I love having pockets to tuck things into. And I couldn't help but add a little something to the pocket. So I picked out like paint chip samples that match the colors. And then I have little folded pieces of scrapbook paper. These are leftover bits from making the journals. And you can easily add them to the page if you wanted some decoration. You could glue them down, and then the colors are meant to all mesh together. And then I added a little collage element just to have a little bit of, a little ephemera added here. And then the back, I also have a book card, a little more scrapbook paper, another paint chip, and then each one also comes with a cute little embellished paper clip. These are so simple to make, but they make me really happy, and it's so fun to be able to like mark your page where you're at to come back to, or even just to kind of, keep your book open while you write or draw or whatever you want to do. I just love adding this. They're really fun for me to make and to include, so I like to put them in there. So yeah, super cute, really small. I'm going to take these to the station and list them for $12. And we'll see how they do. And then I've got my little Languid Letters stamp here on the back. So there's my first one. Let me show you some of the other ones. I like how this one came out. It's got some embossed paper that's got kind of like a wood grain on it. And then you've got some really old dictionary page in the back. Oh, this is some of my handmade paper that I made last season. There. I love these little faux postage stamps. Again, just really nice neutral papers. I wanted to be a little vintage inspired, but also like neutral enough that you could add pops of color and it would look cute, Here I've got the stamped wish. This is on some really crumply, like aged paper. It must be coffee dyed or tea dyed. And then there's like a jelly printed index card and then scrapbook paper underneath. I like making like a strip like that. I think that looks really cute. Oh, this one's fun. It's a little bit of ephemera from a scrapbook set, but then I made it a tiny pocket. I just couldn't help myself there. And then here's another stamped piece of ephemera on some like inked or painted paper. Here's Wish again, this time with a butterfly cutout, and this time I did, instead of a horizontal stripe, a vertical stripe, and I thought that turned out really cute. This has got a little bit more blue tones in it, so I got this faux postage that's got the yellow and blue. Oh, and I thought this was cute. This is just a little circle cutout that's been stamped, and then this is like one of those little Tim Holtz labels, but I just think they look so cute together. Just a little something, just to zhuzh it up, Here's like a Alphonse Mucha Art Nouveau little slip of paper, like a really thin paper that I got. It looks like some of those like packs from Temu or something. They were in a pack of something I bought. So I matted it on paint chip and then Oh yeah, that same painted index card. And then added a little sentiment here. I love that Art Nouveau imagery. I think it's so pretty. And here we've got some of those yellow bits. I've got a stamped circle. This is just like a strip of paper from a vintage dictionary that I put double-sided tape on. I really love this faux stamp here. I did a lot of little tiny stamps on it. Looks like it was probably a jelly printed paper. And then I stamped and used a paint pen. I just really like how that turned out. And there's some really pretty little papers in these too. I like this vintage music sheet look. I got that mustard. This one I kept super simple. I'm curious to see if that is a draw for some folks. This is a stamp on book page. It's been cut out and matted on a paint chip and some handmade paper. We've got some more little embellishments here. There's that pretty paisley paper. I like this dragonfly there. I just love using those faux stamps on things. Here's a little bit of a different collage. I used some more of that embossed wood grain paper, and some stamps, some handmade paper, some faux postage stamps, and then this is a word from one of my junk journaling kits on Etsy, which I can link below. Oh, and for these, for my little bits of ephemera, these are just vintage book pages about flowers where I just kind of fussy cut them out. And I picked a faux stamp here that would have some blue and yellow to tie into that scrapbook paper. They look so good together. I love the subtle stamping in the background and then that black to really stand out. So cute. That little flower. Matching paint chip there. I've got two more left to show you. Here's Wish, back again. Here's another layer. I took a paint chip. I put really old book page here. You can see how brown and aged it is. The paper's really worn. And then a little scrapbook paper, and then some tea-dyed paper, and then a stamped word. I love those layers together. Kept it pretty simple and neutral on this one, but here's another one of those stamps. I just love how those look. Oh yeah, and here's another little stamped bit of paper. This one's very understated. All right, and here's my last one. Another paint chip collage. So you've got the paint chip, old paper, scrapbook paper, circle punch, word from my abundance kit, and this is one of those Tim Holtz cutouts that you can buy in packs. And this one's really pretty. It's got these blue and green tones. So I just still had one of these tags that I made last year was still here, and I was like, oh, look, that I think is even the same paper. So they had to go together. Pretty little postage stamp. Put another one here because I liked how the color scheme worked. It's so fun for me to just get these little pieces of paper and try matching them up and making them look cohesive, like they go together and they belong together, even though they might come from very different paper packs or, you know, painted papers. Playing with those colors is definitely one of my favorite things. And I like how these all look together too, like they could be a set, but they each have their own different topper and personality as well. Thank you so much for looking at what I've made most recently. I'm excited to take these to my local retail shop and drop them off and see if people are drawn to them too. I think they're just such a cute little way to sit down and jot down some ideas, make a to-do list, just something a little different, a little cute. Oh, here's some ledger paper with some stamping on it. Just something a little different and cute to brighten someone's day. I think one of these with a pen would make a super cute little gift. You could tuck a gift card in there, one of the pockets, and that would just make such a sweet little stationery gift. And if you are obsessed with my nail polish like I am, this is a Mooncat polish called Mermaid Bait, and it actually looks very nice with our color scheme here. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Happy creating!